Hey, what's up, guys? Grimsie42 here, and I've got I guess, a very Nintendo-themed pickup video for you. And honestly, it's actually involving some Craigslist pickups, which is very rare for me. Craigslist is very picked over, and I almost never go on there anymore, just because any ad that's decent is pounced on by 1,000 people in 2 seconds, and the price goes from used to be good to gone in seconds. So unless you're like literally camping it, you're not going to find a deal. And I just really do not have the time to do that. But anyways, I will jump right in. The first Craigslist deal was actually just a bunch of GameCube games. And some of them are disc only. First one is Namco Museum. Next is Sonic Mega Collection. Next one is Burnout. Some of these are just empty cases. The next one is a complete copy of Need for Speed 2 Hot Pursuit. Next we have a copy of Fight Night Round 2, which is also complete. And something people may not have known, exclusively for the GameCube, as you can see there, it actually came with a download or built into the disc of Super Punch-Out, which is a really cool game. So if you see this on the cheap, definitely pick it up just for the Punch-Out, if anything. And the last one was, don't think complete. It's just game and inserts. Yeah, unfortunately the manual is not with this one, but Mario Party 6, and I didn't have this one, so it was nice to add that to the collection. There was also a copy of, I want to say Mario Party 7, but I actually traded that already. And it was cheap. I think I got all those for like 15 bucks. So 2 Mario Parties and those other titles. I mean, it wasn't like the deal of the lifetime, but this next pickup I actually thought was a fantastic deal, and I was very, very, very happy to get it. Somebody had advertised on Craigslist that they had a Platinum GameCube, and it wasn't just a Platinum GameCube, it was a special edition. It was the Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness version. And I haven't cleaned it up yet, but it still looks pretty nice. They said they had the system only. The thing that was cool, though, is that they said that they only wanted $15 for it. So it didn't have the cables or anything, but those are all switchable. But as you can see, it's got the little Gale of Darkness logo there. And it's not in there anymore, unfortunately. I've also traded that. But when I purchased this, I opened it up, and inside was a copy of Mario Sunshine. And that game disc only goes for like 20 bucks anyways. So to be able to pick up a limited edition GameCube for essentially negative $5, I was totally okay with that. Okay, continuing with the GameCube spree, if you will. This is actually a very recent pickup, I would say 2 weeks ago, which for me is recent. And this was actually a GameStop pickup, and I'm sure you guys have seen by now that GameStop pretty much doesn't even sell GameCube games. For whatever reason, this store happened to have a couple, and they were like 75% off, and this was like a $5 game, so I got it for like $1. And it's FIFA World Cup Germany 2006. Again, not the most amazing title, but it was something I didn't have. I'm thinking the manual is in here. Yes, it's just a very thin manual. I was pretty sure I checked. It's like a 10-page manual, but it's got the manual and the little precaution thing. And the disc is in great shape. So take one more off the GameCube list, and again, it was only $1. Speaking of games that were only $1, I'm sure I will get heckled, as I always do whenever I make a purchase like this. The reason that I purchased this specific one, I was referred to its existence by Jason Wells. It's definitely uncommon because I'd never seen it. I actually got it off of eBay, and I got it for $1. Literally, its starting bid was 99 cents. I put the starting bid in, and I won. And I think shipping was like $2. It got a little bit banged up because the frigging seller shipped it media mail, but Pony Friends 2. And the reason I got it, if you can see down there, it was actually published by Square Enix. As you may or may not know, Eidos, which was the actual people who made the game, have been doing collaborations with Square Enix, for example, the Tomb Raider game. So, for $1, it's a Wii game I didn't have, and like I said, it's even got the Square Enix registration card, so I technically count this as a Square game. The disc, is actually in perfect condition, so that's actually a plus. But again, for $1 plus 2 shipping, I mean, tease as you will, I got my pony game. Next is a game that I actually picked up off of eBay just because I found a listing that had a very good price. I've been wanting to add it to my collection, and I got this for $12 shipped. It's Contra 4. Unfortunately, it's not in here because it's actually in my 3DS, but I was definitely happy to add this to the collection. And it's fun. I recommend anybody who sees this at a good price pick it up. The next game I've been contemplating getting for a while. It kind of looks like an interesting game. It's also made by Square Enix, believe it or not, but it's a collaboration with Nintendo. And it's sealed. I actually got this through my buddy Brian for $8 shipped, which I thought was a fantastic deal, and it's Fortune Street. And like I said, it's still sealed. I'll probably pick up another copy if I ever want to play it, because it's just in such good shape. It's just almost a crime to open it. This next one is actually a very, very hard to find game. And the fact that I got it sealed and the story behind it just blows my mind. So, I had been looking for this game for a while. I kind of built a list of Wii games that I wanted to find, and anybody can go on eBay and have it shipped to them. So, I really didn't want to go that route. I really wanted to try to find it at one of my local stores, especially since you could take advantage of coupons and promotions and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there were none in any GameStops in my area, and there hadn't been any. You know, and I just kept looking and looking and looking, and one time I was actually in another game store, a different chain that's not GameStop, and a lady with her son came to trade this game in, and they offered her, I think, like $6 for it. And I almost never do this, but I actually approached the gentleman behind the counter. I says, "Excuse me, sir, would it be okay if I offered her more for that? You know, she's looking for cash either way, so it's not like you're going to lose money. But I definitely would give her more than you're offering." And she was definitely excited about it. And he said, "Yeah, as long as you go outside of the store, it's okay." Because it's a game I'd really been looking for. And I didn't want to take the chance that they would either open it or that they would jack it all up with their stickers. Like I said, this game is hard to find, and this copy was actually sealed. That was the part that blew my mind. And I asked her how much she thought would be fair, and she said, "Well, he was offering me $6. Can you do better?" And I says, "Definitely. How's 10?" And she said, "Yes." And it blew my mind, because this is like a $20 or $30 game, not sealed. And sealed, I think it's like an $80 game. And again, it's very obscure. It's The Calling by Hudson Soft. And it's not in, like, perfect condition. There's, like, a few little microscopic dings on the plastic. But the case inside is in great shape. And, I mean, as you can see, it's nice and clean. But definitely great condition. And I was super happy to get it. So I could not believe that. That was just, like, the score of a lifetime for me. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys is something that I actually got through I guess a PayPal donation that I did. If you're not familiar, there's an unofficial trilogy for the Wii, and I own all 3 games, and I think they're all fabulous games. The first one being The Last Story. After that was Xenoblade Chronicles, which we almost didn't see in the States, and then the last one was Pandora's Tower. Well, they actually made a box that fits all 3, and it's actually called the Rainfall Collection. And as you can see, it's kind of just a cheap little box, but it's got all 3 games listed there. How you get this is actually just, you know, Google the Rainfall collection, or Project Rainfall, and just by donating, I think it was $10 to their, whatever the cause is. It's like some good deed, I'm not sure what it is, but they'll mail you this. So I thought for $10, that was pretty cool to, you know, pick up this cool box like this and everything. It's a little lesser quality than I thought. It's pretty flimsy, but it's cool to hold all 3. The only issue I have is I've got the collector's edition of Last Story, so it won't fit in here. So I'm going to have to go to GameStop and pick up a used copy of Last Story. That way I can put all 3 in there. I think that'll kind of be more official, if you will. But that actually wraps up my pickups. And actually at the end of this, since most people don't stick around to the end, I'm going to stick my opinion in. In regards to Xenoblade Chronicles, I've heard a lot of people complaining that GameStop re-released the game, and they're so upset and talking about all this foul play and this, that, and the other. What some people may not be aware of is that that game was not going to be coming to America. And think of how many great games we haven't gotten the chance to play or had to get, you know, imports or reproductions, you know, kind of like Terra Enigma for the Super Nintendo. GameStop paid the money to have this game brought to America. Because it wasn't a hyped game, it didn't sell well. At that point, collectors got a hold of it, they realized it was obscure, and the price went through the roof. So now you have a select amount of collectors enjoying the game, and then you have a smaller amount of collectors that would like to get the game, but were unfortunately paying crazy prices because it was going over $100. So GameStop re-released the game, and they sold it as used. And everybody flipped their head, oh my god, GameStop is the devil, they're doing all these horrible things. Did anyone ever stop to think that GameStop was bringing you more copies of the game that you wanted? Now, the first complaint everybody had was that the price was so high. On Black Friday, they were selling it for $40, which is still less than eBay. They have buy two, get one free on week constantly. They're always doing coupons and promotions. You can use your discount card. And I just don't understand how people could get upset that GameStop was giving you more of a game you wanted. You know, and everybody's like, oh, well, they could have had them sealed, or we don't know how it works behind the scenes. There might have been some rule where they had to pay Nintendo to put those sealings on the games. Not to mention, anybody who notices, the first edition of Xenoblade Chronicles is going to have the Wii logo above the disc. And the second release says Nintendo on the inside of the case. So there's a way to differentiate them. So if you're really that hardcore of a collector, you can tell the difference. It's still like a $50, $60 game. I think it was a great move by GameStop. It was nice of them to actually bring the game to us in the first place. And I really don't think that people have any reason to get upset. I mean, are you mad that your $100 game is now a $60 game? Because if it's really only about money, I don't think you're in the hobby for the right reason. Again, that's just my opinion. I like that games are valuable. It's a cool way of keeping score of how well of a find you get. But that's not what it's about. You know, in the end, it's about loving the games and, you know, having stuff to, you know, a library of sorts. So I don't really think we should focus on all the politics of it, you know, and I think we should just more get back to loving the games and enjoying them for what they are. And it's a fantastic game, and I think that if GameStop printed out 15 million copies of it and dropped the value to $1, I would still be happy. Are you guys mad at Nintendo because they released 15 million copies of Mario 3? You know, I mean, when it's a good game, I want there to be more copies out there. I want players to enjoy it. I want it to be a fun experience for everybody. I don't want it to be this exclusive little group of hoarders who have a game and then nobody else can play them. I personally have no plan on ever selling mine. So I would like there to be more copies so other people can get them. Anyways, just my opinion. Again, I figured most people don't stick around to the end, so I figured that would be a perfect time to let it out. You know, I know some people may disagree with me on that, and they may think GameStop is evil empire. But please keep in mind, if it wasn't for GameStop, you would not have the game in the first place. So whatever it is that they're doing, why don't you get mad at, I'm not sure what the company is offhand, but the company that made those Persona games. Those all got re-released. Did anyone flip their lid on them? Oh, how horrible they are for re-releasing their games. Again, games get re-released all the time. I've got multiple games where there are multiple print runs of something, you know, and if I had exclusive rights to a game, I would release as many copies of it as I could. You know, and if, again, the price bothers you, it still was the cheapest you could get it anywhere. It was cheaper than it was on eBay. You can't really fault GameStop for trying to make money. They're a business. Their job is to make money. That's why they're there. And I don't see any reason why people should get so upset over something like that. I mean, it boggles my mind. But people love to get mad, so they're going to get mad. Anyways, if you like this, guys, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and take care.